Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, and other stuff update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. So first and foremost, we do have a charity auction with a giveaway. There's some utility involved. Let's go over it. So this is a long post. This is from VeVe Magic saying she just announced on stream with the real Randy Chavez that there is an open auction for a partner statue. For those of you that don't know what that is the major partner statue that you see in the Disney parks. That is right here. And then we're not auctioning off that. We're auctioning off a digital one that you see on VeVe. And it's like, well, Chavez, I don't really, do a lot of VeVe. I'm here for, other investments, DEVVE, DEFINITY. Well, here's why you're going to want it. The partner statue was donated via a very amazing person named Dr. Profit. It is an open auction via Stacker World, so you're going to be able to buy it with OMI. It is a charity auction, so all the proceeds will go to First Responders Children's Foundation. The bid started at $1,000 and it quickly rose to $4,200. The winner will purchase the collectible via Stacker in OMI, but with that comes a little more utility. The winner will receive a 1-week stay from August 23rd through August 30th in a 2-bedroom suite at Disney's Old Key Resort. It sleeps up to 9 people and is valued at about $9,000. So me and VeVe Magic will be there along with a couple of friends. And if you're in the VeVe fam, you'll know a few of them as the OMI homies, Max and Janie. And we'll be there to hang with you guys. If the owner or the winner, whoever wins, they want to go in and say, hey, yeah, come hang with us, we want to hang, you absolutely will be able to do that. If you say, hey, you know what, 9 people, this is going to be a family vacation, and that's about it, that is fine as well. We're there if you need. There may be some other add-ons that we are currently working on. Shout out to Turtle Golf for the idea and the accommodations contribution. Again, the current bid is $4,200, and if you would like to bid, please DM VeVe Magic over on X. Stay tuned for updates. The bidding does end on June 7th at midnight. At the stroke of midnight, that is when it'll end. And yeah, like I said, a week stay at Disney Resort plus a partner statue, which is already about $1,100. And then on top of that, it's just it's a tax write-off. So keeping y'all posted. Anywho, speaking of VeVe, there's a couple of things that I wanted to go over. A few months back, well, before we start with that, let's go over the numbers, shall we? For the first time in a couple of months, VeVe's numbers are actually looking up. They're looking a little bit better. We have, again, for the first time in a couple of months, within the course of 1 week, from April 25th to May 1st, 2 days, count them 2, it's a SpongeBob reference, that we have had over 1,000 users on any given day. Now, again, this has not happened in a couple of months where we've had that. In April, we had a couple of days where we had 1,000 users, and then in March, we also had several more days, but they were never in the same month. They were kind of scattered. And the average day on any given day was around 700 to 800. However, between April 25th and May 1st, it was around 935. So we are seeing that little bit of an uptick, and we are seeing a little bit of uptick in revenue as well. VeVe, as of right now, as of what's today's date? It's May the 5th, so it's Revenge of the 5th at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They've done around $100,000 in volume this month so far in these 5 days. In another 5 days, they'll probably do another $100,000-ish. A lot of that is going to come from the Mandalorian drop on May 10th. That is going to be Mandalorian, Grogu. I think you have the Armorer in there as well. 2 versions of Mandalorian and Grogu. Both first appearances, by the way. So they're scheduled to do about $500,000 this month. So I'm pretty excited for that. They have a bunch of other stuff on top of that, just a bunch of comics. And that's another thing I wanted to go over. And it'll come back to the numbers here in a second. As many of you know, I am the owner of the daCAT IP. And I'm writing, I am now 15 pages into the 3rd comic. And the art is going really well. Like, the art is beautiful, but we only have like 8 pages done on the 1st comic, and that's a 45-page comic, and the 2nd comic is 53 pages. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, and okay, after I finish this, which might take me another month to finish, there's not really going to be any need for me to start writing the fourth comic right away, when the first one at that point was probably only going to be 25% done, if that. So my idea here is, and I started this a few months ago, I had a live stream. It's a new show with All Dolled Up from Sharby. They have 27,000 followers over on X, and they are part of the first comic a little bit. They have a major part in the second comic and a major part in the third, so on and so forth. So 2 months ago, on March 10th, March 10th is of this year, 2025, we started the last seat, me and All Dolled Up from Sharby, and we were talking to Shib on Soul. And we had kept going every single week. All of the ones that we had, we did SHIRO, and they sponsor the channel now. Shout out to them. Then we did Pauly Pupils. I got to follow up with him. So it's a bunch of these, a lot of meme coin communities, and a lot of people say, like, again, memes are great. You have a nice chance for them to do crazy numbers, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them, kind of seen their best days. We did Chadette on Soul, and then we did Stephen Bliss, who worked for Rockstar Games for a long time, is a major artist. We had him on. And then we started getting into a lot of women. We had the last seat, number 6, with Crypto Kimber. She was going over and talking about ladies on Soul. And then 2 weeks ago, we had Fran the Cat Lady for Ed the daCAT. And then today, we had Jin Token on Volt Inu. And I didn't really tell anyone at the time when this started, but I know, Chavez, why'd you interview meme tokens? A lot of these are smaller communities. And yes, that's true, but some of these are larger communities. And at first it just started with, hey, let's just do this type of thing for networking, right? Networking will be able to go in, and that's how the world goes around. That's how you meet people. But I knew that something was there. I knew that this was going to lead somewhere, and obviously I wanted to do it for VeVe. Every single episode, hey, have you heard of VeVe? Hey, blah, blah, blah. Here's a really great way to get eyes on your project, is to go in and buy a couple collectibles, get into the VeVe community, say like, hey, I bought these things on VeVe, and you could spend literally like a couple of dollars. $5 can get you like 5 different things. But hey, I bought these comics, go into Comic Space. These are really cool. Have y'all checked out what we've done on Ladies on Soul with Chadette? Like, whatever it is. And had limited success there. But then I was like, especially with Fran the Cat Lady and Ed the daCAT, they'd already had a physical comic. And the physical, like, they send, like, that costs them money because they send it out everywhere. They're in Europe, they're in America, and they, and they send it to me for free. Other people, I think they can buy it, and you get utility with it. You get like keychains and stuff like that. But there's a couple of these communities that they have a pretty good audience. Again, start with SHIRO. SHIRO has 60,000 people over on their followers over on X, and then you take a look at them on. I legit checked this on stream, and now it has 259 notifications. There's 20,000 members there. 664 of them are online. And I was like, hey, you guys should. They already had a comic. Granted, it was about 10 pages long. So I was like, I don't know if we could charge people like $5 to buy this one. It's 10 pages long. So they're gonna go and they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna extend this a little bit. We'll put it on VeVe, and they're gonna go in and have their community make accounts on VeVe, sign up to VeVe Comics, and they're gonna buy stuff. They're gonna read it on VeVe. And it'll sell out. Now, obviously, we're doing this with daCAT as well. There are a decent amount of people that are in daCAT that have followed me for a while. They already have VeVe accounts, but a couple of them don't. And they're going to come in as soon as daCAT is released on here through the Comic Curator program. And the same thing's going to happen with SHIRO. And for daCAT, we'll do 2,025 comics. We'll sell out. Small amount of that will be from the daCAT community, but a large amount of that is just going to be from me, my community, my fans, and that's just what's going to happen. We'll likely get a drop on VeVe, meaning that once we sell out, we make VeVe enough money. They'll say like, okay, you have a community here. Let's do a deal. Let's do a drop deal. Popular characters from the comic get on VeVe. They did that with Evermind. Evermind comic, they sold out like 3,000 comics the first one they did, and they their third one I just bought. I haven't been able to read it yet. Great stories. But it would seem to me that that's what they're going to do for a lot of these things. Anyone is going to be able to come on the VeVe Comics Curator program, but not everyone's going to have their stuff sell out. SHIRO will obviously do that. I do wish I was able to like help write that or help do whatever, but again, it doesn't matter. Their community will come on in the same way that you have a lot of like influencers that are out there and they say, hey, buy my book, buy like 20 copies of my book and I'll give you, a free signed whatever, or I'll give you a free, they have a bunch of incentives, and that's how a bunch of people get onto the New York Times bestsellers list. They don't all deserve that. As a lot of people go on, like their community will pump up the numbers. They'll be able to say, hey, we sold more than this, X, Y, and Z. And for a time, for the next several months, there are going to be times, daCAT's probably going to be the first one, there's going to be comics from local people that you've never heard of, like me, and we're going to outsell a bunch of Marvel comics. And it'll happen with SHIRO because of their community. And I think it's going to happen with Volt Inu. Volt Inu they have 100-something thousand followers over on X. And on these streams that what me and All Dolled Up from Sharby do every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get hundreds of viewers. Sometimes we get over 1,000. Like the average is like 600 to 800 people, like every Monday. So you have a lot of eyes that are already on VeVe. And yeah, I bring up other stuff when I can. Like I think I brought up everything today. I brought up like DEVVE, I brought up Definity, I brought up a bunch of stuff on the stream today because we went for 2 hours. And getting to know a lot of these communities and getting to know a lot of these, it's such an amazing cross-pollination of clients that we can do. And I expect, and again, bringing this full circle back to the numbers here, if you take a look, and I might use this as a thumbnail, if you take a look at the numbers, several hundred on any given day, the last week from April 25th to May 1st, you had 935 people on the app on any given day. That number will double because of what daCAT and SHIRO and everything that I'm doing here. And again, this is just me as a I don't even freaking work for the company. I guarantee you're going to see changes in the VeVe company over the next couple of months. And remember how I said, like, yeah, these numbers will double? They'll double and triple again towards the end of the year because of a lot of the stuff that what I'm doing, the community's doing, what VeVe themselves are going to be doing, and then just the overall bull market. That overall narrative will change. Everything's going to go nuts. Now, I don't know that the narrative will change for NFTs and digital collectibles before the end of the year. They might. Or we might have to wait till Q1 next year. Where nobody's really 100% sure yet. And a lot of people are saying, hey, this is the end of the 4-year cycle, one last boom, and that's it. That it might be that. We don't know. But I do know what I'm doing, some of the community's doing, and again, like I said, you'll see some changes with a lot of different things. Can only pull that rubber band only so far back before you launch it. And this seems that's what's going to happen. So I'm all in. I am trying my very best. Everything that I do, all roads are going to lead to VeVe. And again, I tell all these communities, guys, you could put out 20 pages of like a picture book. You don't even have to write a script. If you get your community to buy it and it does numbers, because again, if you have a large enough community like SHIRO or like Volt Inu, daCAT's really not that big yet. But if you have these numbers, you can go on there, get eyes on VeVe, have a drop. And then I mentioned this with SHIRO. I even mentioned this today with the one of the people from Volt Inu. I was like, you could have like a high-end digital collectible of Volt on VeVe, and you could take pictures of in the metaverse, in AR, wherever you want, with the Marvel dogs. You could take pictures of with like Doctor Strange, with all of these different things, and it's 100% legit with all this IP. So it's one thing if you want to have your comic over on Sui or put your comic wherever, and yeah, you could ask your community for however many dollars. You can only do that so many times though, and it doesn't get new eyes on your project. You just kind of suck, money from your community. But if you go and do it over on VeVe, it gets a lot of eyes on the project. And if it's a good comic, there's people like me and other VeVe influencers that will pick it up and be like, hey, this is really good. There's people that read all types of comics. So do I. Most of them are they're like Saturday Night Live skits where most of them are some of them are pretty good, and then every now and then there's this like one like, oh my god, this is amazing. So the ones that I really like were the Aliens vs. Avengers. That was really good. And then you had one that just came out recently. I have it in my collection, and I haven't read the Planet Death one, but the one that just came out recently that I really liked was the Predator vs. Spider-Man #1. I cannot say enough good things about that. That was so good. So again, everything that I do for every Monday, like all the other sponsors of the channel, a lot of roads are going to lead to VeVe. And again, part of the reason why I tried to build such a close relationship with DEVVE, affiliate link down below for the DEVVE exchange, is so I can help get OMI on their exchange when they launch later this year. It's one thing to, buy a bag and let others work for it, and that is fine. Done that plenty of times myself. But if you want to work for your bags, if you want to solidify that future, yeah, this is what I'm doing. Anyone else can try to do it as well. I did offer for VeVe News, like, hey, I would love to write your comic, because there was a writing competition for SHIRO like a month ago, and I actually just put it in my highlights because I was very proud of it. It was called the SHIRO Bounty Complete Challenge, and what I did was, it took me 2 minutes to think of a story. It took me 11 minutes to type it out, and I won. I'm a very good writer, and imagine what the daCAT comic will be like, or what a VeVe New comic could be like. Because again, they could come out and print 20 pages of bleh. It'll sell out. It doesn't need to be a good story, but if it is, it's just going to make it that much better. I offered them, I think, a very, very fair place for a fair wage or a fair partnership, fair couple of deals. And this is something that I really want to do. So this is just, again, that partner statue charity auction earlier in this video. This is how I'm going to get a bunch of numbers up for VeVe, help the OMI bags, and then also my ask to VeVe New. I have so many amazing ideas for this awesome character. It doesn't have to be in here. We could just have it in the VeVe comic, and we'll do a bunch of other giveaways and stuff in my daCAT comic, and it'll live in greatness, and that's fine. Or you could allow me to write your comic, and I promise you I will put my heart and soul into it the same way that I'm doing it with my daCAT comic. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye.